Good morning, welcome everyone to our Chok shiur. We are learning Parashat Vayishlach Leyom Shishi, Parashat Vayishlach for Friday. We're going to start with the Mussar, then we're going to go to the Zohar, and then to the Halakha, because it would make most sense that way. So the Mussar says as follows. If anyone's following in the English books, I'm on page 225 on the bottom left corner. We're in the Sefer Tzedal HaDerech. This is, I think, one of the most fundamental. Each line that I'm going to read, we can spend half an hour on. So we're not going to do that, obviously, but we're gonna see that the concepts that are spoken about in this morning's Mussar are one of our greatest fundamental lessons, each one in and of itself. He says, one who wants to come closer to the service of God, you have to kind of distance yourself, become a loner from your surrounding. Now that's not so popular, it's not so cool to not go hanging out with your friends, not go to eat with them, not go to party with them, not go to sit around, not to go drink with them. We all have been in those situations. However, we've spoken about it many times that the people that you surround yourself with, you become similar to them. Their way they speak, the way they act, rubs off on you, and that's why if you put yourself in a good atmosphere of good influence, you will ameliorate your standards and the way that you act. However, if you are around the ones you've always been around, it's going to be very hard for you to break out of the bad habits and things that we've been already doing. So that's what he says here. One who wants to get closer to the service and accept the service of God upon them, they have to distance themselves from people, and most importantly, the people that you're already around. Next, Vamru, en rifwa mehanina. There is no greater healing better than graciousness. Okay, the greatest way to heal a person is when a person is graceful. Graceful could mean obviously calm, content, respectful, not so makpid as we say in Hebrew, not so diligent and stringent on others. Then matmun ki matmuna chokhmah. You want to know what the greatest gift or the greatest prized possession is? Wisdom. Wisdom is something which makes a person greater than the rest. Not because you necessarily want to be the best or greater than the rest, but it's an advantage which a person attains, which is the biggest treasure, something that is not comparable at all. Ve'en mamon kemamon hadat. You want to know what real wealth is? Chazak, you want to know what real money, not really, but the real wealth is? Real wealth is knowledge. It's the power of knowing and discerning. Ve'en da'ra kira hatipshut. The greatest evil is the evil of stupidity. That is the greatest evil. Evil is stupidity. When you make lax of something, when you make something a joke, that is the greatest evil that there is. Ve'en yechus ki chusa ne'eman. You want to know the greatest heritage. If you want to know who someone is and where they come from, see how trustworthy they are. See how you can either believe them or not. Ne'eman Lashem, that's how you want to put it? It could be. It could be. He doesn't say.
Ne'eman Lashem is more than the son, more than the who's of the son of the greatest rabbi. Right.
But I think here he didn't say Ne'eman Lashem. He said Ne'eman.
The believer?
No, he says there is no. He says trustworthiness. That's what real. Here it is. How do you know the type of person? What type of person he is? Can you trust him or not? Is his word a word? Is it not? Okay. Ve'en menucha ki zavon hatava. The greatest rest could be when a person leaves their lust and their desire. Ve'en ma'aseh me'ula mimachshava zaka. The greatest deed. Look how interesting. The greatest physical deed is a clear and pure thought. Now, how do you explain that? I think that's a long one. So let's go on. Then tzedakah gedolah me'ahavat yisurin. The greatest charity a person could love and do is to love suffering.
זה מצדיק את השם.
Well, that's giving. It's giving of yourself.
Because ultimately there's no such thing as Isurim. Isurim move you for the next
לא,
level.
קל להצדיק את השם שהוא נותן לך טובה, אבל שהוא נותן לך לא טוב, אז תצדיק את השם.
אבל זה נאמן אמיתי.
Again, I think the simple understanding is tzedakah. Tzedakah is when we give of our gains. When we give our gains, we give it back to charity. We give it back to poor people. We give it back to the needy. Schools, institutions, synagogues, Torah study. That's what tzedakah is. The greatest tzedakah is to love suffering. Not to love suffering to go look for it, but when it comes your way, suffering is you're giving of yourself. You're giving of yourself literally. It could be physically, emotionally. So that's the greatest tzedakah, is to love what you give of yourself. It's very, very hard. Then chatat gedola miatava. The greatest sin, lo alenu, is when one gives in to their lusts and their desires. That is the worst of sins, because then there's no end. It takes a person from here to here to here to here, and then it's all the way gone. Velo holi min hadaga. You want to know the greatest sickness? Listen to this. Worry. When a person is worried, that is the greatest sickness. You're better off lo alenu fighting cancer than lo alenu velo alechem than being worried. Again, velo choli min hadaga. The worst sickness is worry. Worry is something which is not only emotional, but the feelings
Would that be anxiety as well?
Anxiety for sure. Anxiety, worry. Safe trip. Bye.
That's depressing.
That is it's depression, being worried, anxiety. It's something which is very, very, very hard. It's the worst of the sicknesses. Is it curable? Definitely it's curable. A lot of hard work. Okay? Velo avodah zaka me'ava. The most wholesome and greatest service a person could do is when they do it out of love for God. When they do it out of love for whatever they're doing. If you're working for your boss and you do it out of love, you'll be the most successful. If you're working for your children, your wife, your family, even for yourself, and all the more so even for God, if you do it out of love, it changes it. As soon as it becomes a force and a burden and against our own will, and there's resentment, then it's already being very, very counterproductive, opposed to being productive. Velo prishut tov me'asipuk. The greatest disconnect, prishut is the greatest holding back from something would be sipuk, opposed to, I'll explain what it means. It's greater to, no, it's better than cutting yourself off cold turkey, right? We can't cut ourselves off of eating and drinking completely. It's impossible. So what's the greatest way, the greatest balance, the greatest medium, is knowing how much to eat and how much to drink, and not underdoing it and not overdoing it, right? And we said that's the same thing when it comes to buying things. If it's buying cars, if it's buying homes, if it's buying clothes, whatever it is, it's deha sipuk is the greatest prishut. Prishut, liot parush, is to separate oneself from the physicality and the desire and lust in this world, but you can't completely separate yourself. So he says, better than completely separating yourself from physicality and desire in this world is knowing how much to indulge in. That's what it means. We gave examples even for marital relations. Marital relations, you can't do none, and you can't do it every day. You have to do it at certain times which is healthy for the relationship. Okay. Velo shmira chazaka me'ashtika. The greatest guardian you can do for yourself, the greatest protection you can do for yourself is silence. Silence is gold. Gold, literally gold. Very good. Velo aniyut gadol me'achimda. The greatest poverty. So again, many of us, we're working, trying to amass and to do. The greatest poverty is jealousy and desire of others. Because no matter how much you have, you always want more. You look at what this one has. You look at the numbers of this person's business. You look at this person's home. You look at this person's car. You look at everything from everyone else. No matter how much you have, you're still considered poor until, he's going to say here, Velo achaim arevim. You want to know what the greatest and sweetest life is me'asamech me'helko. When you're happy with what you have, as the Mishnah in Pirkei Avot tells us, that Ezeu Ashir, who's the richest? Hasamech bechelko. Who's rich? If you're happy with what you have. You can have $10 billion and be poorer than the person that's on welfare and food stamps.
So in contrast, when you
Because if he's happy with what he has, well, he has no envy, he has no jealousy, but he has peace. He has peace with what he has, which is the most important. Now here's kind of like a little anecdote or a story. Amar echad haboshet siba lechol yosher. There was a certain person that said that being shameful is the reason for everything that's upright. If a person is not shameful of his deeds, of his actions, of what he says, then he can never straighten himself out. He can never do the right thing. If a person is brazen, as we say in Hebrew, am kishe'oref, if he's stiff-necked, if he's stubborn, if he has no shame to the things that he does, there's no way that he can get better at whatever he's doing. If you don't care when people see you say bad things, do bad things, be in places where you shouldn't be, if there's no shame for you to be there, so there's not going to be anything that's going to help you and promote you to want to do better. And that's, by the way, one of the traits of a Jew. A Jew is baishan. He's shameful. He's bashful. If he's bashful, if he's shameful, then you know, the Gemara tells us, then you know that he is Jewish. Baishanim, Rahmanim, and Gemilut Chasadim. Chazak. Yeah. Meaning,
Baishanim is the first, meaning that...
No, Gever, Gemilut Chasadim, Baishanim, and Rahmanim. Gever, right? The acronym? So meaning, to be, right. Who's a real man? A real man is one who does for others, one who is bashful, shameful, and one who has compassion. Okay, now listen to this. Amru, ki holche derech ta'u b'darkam. There was once a group of people who was walking, and they took a wrong turn. Ra'u leparush ehad b'migdal. They found a hermit, a lonely individual, in a tower. Amru lo, they came and they asked him, Horenu derech zu nelech. How do we continue our way? Where do we go? So what do you say? V'hir'a biyado lashamayim. You're traveling, no planes, no helicopters. How do I get back home? How do I get back on my way? Or like this. So they asked him, Amru lo ve'ech, how do I get there? Amar lahem, he told him, Hachinu tzeda lifne darkechem ulefi shi'ur amidatchem la'olam haba. Prepare yourself before you actually go on your long journey for the everlasting time you'll be spending in the next world. As we learned, and this is perfect for Friday, that whoever prepares for Shabbat will enjoy on Shabbat. If you don't, buy food, cook food, or make arrangements where you're staying for Shabbat, you're going to have nothing to eat on Shabbat. You won't, because you're preparing beforehand. The same thing is with the next world. If you don't prepare in this world for the next world, what are you going to have in the next world? And therefore, he says, prepare yourself here in this world, so this way when you get up there, you'll have everything prepared and ready for you. Vira'u lebachur. So they continued on their way, and then they found a young, yefeh toar, handsome man. V'chachusha basar. However, he was very, very skinny. He was a scrawny, however, good-looking young man. Sha'alu al kahash bisaro. They asked him, why are you so thin? Why are you not healthy? You look so good. You're a young guy. What's with you? Ana, he told him as follows. He answered, Ta'amti ze ha'olam umtsativ mar kala'ana. He said, I tasted everything in this world, every desire, any lust, anything that there is to taste from in a physical manner in this world, I've tasted it all, and I've found everything nothing but as bitter as a woodworm, kila'ana. Okay? What? You don't like it? Uzhavo v'chaspo kavanav. And all of the gold and silver that I found in this world is just like stone, nothing special. Vani mabit lishmi meromot ve'ro'e anashim yolichum legan eden. And I see who really is is ushered into Gan Eden. It's not the ones who was running after the desire and running after the money. V'acherim ligeinom v'yareti me'esh hasoref. And I was scared of being burnt.
Somebody used the Gashmiut of Olam Hazeh, the all of it, feel the same like this. And I'm telling you,
You're probably right.
you never felt this kind of all Gashmiut of this Olam Hazeh that you are
It's like Shabbat, it's like too much.
Rabbi, we should be sleeping according to this.
We should be what?
Lose weight.
Well, that's what he says. He says he stopped indulging because he was scared that he'd be more literally firewood for Gehinom. Literally. Again, it's very, very advanced. It's pushing it. But the concept is
more than what you need.
desipuko. Exactly. Okay, I wanted the Zohar. The Zohar is very short for this morning, and it's apropos to Shabbat. So I wanted to share the Zohar with everyone. If everyone could turn one page back, or it might be on the same page. The Zohar, by the way, you won't find the Zohar translated in English. The Zohar is only translated from its Aramaic, which is harder than the Gemara. Right? We're learning Talmud, and Talmud is hard enough. The Zohar is even harder. Terminology of Aramaic than the Talmud. The only translation you'll find it in is in Hebrew. Yes, nowadays there could be those who shouldn't be translating the Zohar into English, that are translating into English. However, there was some type of acceptance that the Zohar should not be translated into any other language than Hebrew, because if you can't even understand the reading of the Hebrew, so you have much more to learn before getting to the Zohar. So we have the Zohar here in Aramaic and in Hebrew. We'll read it quickly. It's a very, very beautiful message the Zohar is telling us. Hashem yilachem lachem v'atem tacharishun. Rabbi Abba said, Im tashiv mishabat raglecha asot avlatzecha b'yom kodeshi, which is the verse that we say every week, Shabbat morning when we are doing the Kiddush, that if you make Shabbat a rest for all of your ways, everything that you do, and you make it a holy day, he explains the pasuk as follows: Zakain inun Israel, meritus are the Jews, dekucha berichu itrei behon, because Hakadosh Baruch Hu gave them, endeared them with litdabeka behu mikol shar amin de'alma. Hakadosh Baruch Hu attached himself closer to the Jewish people more than any other nation in this world. So we are meritus. We are very lucky that HaKadosh Baruch Hu connected to the Jewish people more than any other nation. And now, umigor himuta, and because of his ultimate compassion, dilhon kari to the Jewish people, kariv lun negabe vihav lun oraita. He brought us close. So he found, obviously, based on Abraham and Isaac and Jacob, he loved them. He brought them close. And he said, this is the nation that I'm going to put myself with. He attached. And then what did he do? He gave us two special gifts. The first is the Torah. We understand why the Torah is a special gift. The Torah is the manual to the world and the life that we live in this world. The Torah was written by the creator of the world and the human beings. So it's like when you buy a computer, you buy a car, or you buy a new toy, and there's a manual and you say, no, a board game. I'm not going to learn how to play the board game. I'm going to do whatever I want with the pieces and everything. You're selling yourself short. You're not taking the full benefit and advantage that there is for that board game, for that car, for that toy, for that computer, whatever it is. So the Torah is the manual to humanity and the world that we live in.
And the next one.
And the next world, Chazaku Baruch. So out of Hashem's compassion, what he did was he gave the Jewish people the Torah, V'yavlun Shabbat, and he also, the second greatest gift Hashem gave us was the Shabbat. Di'ihu kadisha mikol shar yomin. It is a more sanctified day than every other day. V'naiha mikola v'hidva dechola v'shakil. And so it is the greatest, it is the most ultimate. And shakil Shabbat lakobel oraita kula. One who observes the Shabbat is as if they have fulfilled the whole Torah. The complete Torah. You keep Shabbat. You turn your phone off. You don't drive your car. You don't go buy things. You don't go do things. It doesn't say that you need to go and do everything that you need, let's say, to go to the synagogue 3 times. That's a different story. But observing the Shabbat, just not doing any melacha, any prohibited actions, it's as if you fulfilled the whole Torah. Okay, Uman denatir Shabbat, one who keeps Shabbat, כאילו נתיר אורייתא כולה, וקראת לשבת עונג, עינוגה דחולה, עינוגה דנפש, וגופה, עינוגה דילין ותתאין. A person who, and this is what we'll end with, we won't do the halakha today, it's very similar to last week and then next week's. Let's just end off with understanding why is keeping Shabbat so easy for some, yet very hard for others. There's an outlook. Some think that Shabbat is the greatest jail because I'm not allowed. It's restrictions. I can't touch my phone. I can't buy anything. I can't go work. I can't make more. I can't go to a restaurant. I can't. This concept of that's restricting. It's like jail. I'm not allowed to go all over the city or all over the world. I have to stay in one confined part of a place of the world. So then many consider Shabbat as a jail. What is the real outlook to Shabbat? What is the outlook that many of us really understand why Shabbat is so important? I'm sure we're all looking forward to Shabbat every week. 2 days a week. The greatest thing I look for is turning off my phone Friday afternoon before coming to the synagogue. It is the best feeling ever. Now during the week it would be nice to do that. However, people need to reach you. You need to be reachable. You need to reach people. So it's very hard to do that during the week, except if you're one of the few and lucky who still don't have a cell phone. But the greatest part of preparation for Shabbat is really turning off our cell phone, putting your car keys away. There's nothing like it. So why is it not jail? How do you answer those that claim that Shabbat is confining, it's restricting? We see this concept throughout our Torah. Whether it's dietary laws, whether it's marital laws, whether it's any type of the laws of the holidays, any type of laws that God did give us, they are all somewhat restricting. You're not allowed to kill someone. So what, you're restricting me? I'm not allowed to steal from someone. Well, that's restricting. The restrictions which the Torah, which ultimately God put into place, are all for our benefit. It's the better, greater benefit for human society that people don't go around killing each other, and people don't go around stealing, and people do not commit adultery, and people don't worship idols, and people don't work on Shabbat, and people don't go eat pig and non-kosher and meat and milk together. All these restrictions are for our better. Some of them we understand easily, such as murder and stealing, and others it's a little harder, you could understand it, and some of them it's almost impossible to understand. Like, why is it not allowed to be eating meat and milk together? It's something that is hard to understand. Well, when it comes to not eating swine, pork, pig, that's something which scientifically, more recently, we've understood why. Does anyone know why? I'll tell you very quickly. This is fascinating. I can't tell you. Listen to this. I can't tell you the source on camera where I heard this from, but I'll tell you after, and you'll understand why I don't tell you the source. But listen to this. Scientifically, a pig, first of all, is always in its own dung. It's always in its own excrement and dirt and filth of its and its others. Effectively, what is it eating? It just keep on eating the same garbage over and over and over. That's one. Number two, a pig's digestion system is one of, if not the worst system out of all animals. And why is that? Because when it eats, it digests very quickly. It takes up to 4 hours, no longer than 4 hours, to digest whatever it eats. And you're going to say, hey, that's a great thing. It done it quick. No. The digestion process actually is something which is completely beneficial for the animal itself. The longer the digestion process takes, the greater an amount of time that the animal and the enzymes is able to separate and break down the food to go to its proper parts of its body, and most importantly, to waste anything that should not be stayed in the animal. And therefore, a pig, since it digests itself so fastly, most of the toxins, and it has many toxins because it's in its same garbage all day long, most of the toxins of a pig stay in its fat. And therefore, scientifically, it's even proven that pork is not a healthy food to eat. So there's one explanation that even if we didn't have that explanation, we still wouldn't eat it. But imagine how many things we don't understand and that there must be reasons for, because again, it's in our manual book. So let's just quickly wrap it up and go back to Shabbat.
Seafood, the highest cholesterol.
Many, yeah.
The highest cholesterol.
So let's just get back to Shabbat and understand, why is Shabbat not a dungeon, not jail for us? Why is it, for many of us, the greatest day of the week? Shabbat is a day where we're able to spend quality time with, I like to say, 3 categories. With oneself, with one's family, and with God. Some like to add 4, with their community and their extended family and their friends. But if a person has no time to just meditate, regenerate, connect to God, connect through prayer, connect through study, connect through eating special food. We connect through sleeping, seriously, resting, disconnecting from the 6 days of work, in order to, when we come back on Sunday or Monday, we're able to get in rejuvenated. We're able to reconnect in a stronger, in a more productive and successful way. If something becomes too repetitive, then the interest and the motivation is lost. I'll end off with a similar example, and it may be a touchy topic to some, but it's a fact of life. And we spoke about it. How often is a person supposed to have marital relations with his wife? If he does it too often, then it kind of becomes cheap. It becomes almost non-important, non-special, no excitement. If they never do it, well, then there's no connection between the couple. So the same thing is on that idea, Shabbat. If a person turned off their phone all week long, person didn't go to work all week long, well, that's like disconnecting completely. You have to be real with the physical world you live in. But if you don't ever stop, you find yourself devaluing the life you live in and just not stopping from literally that rat race that we're completely running. There's always more to do. There's always more to see. There's always more to buy. There's always more to make. There's never an end. And we think that we're almighty and we're so powerful that we need to do and everything's relying on me. La alenu v'la alechem. But the day that we pass away, stuff will continue. The world will continue. Your business will continue. As hard as it is to say, your family will continue. Everybody has to learn, at the end of the day, learns to pull their own weight. So yes, we need to take responsibility into our hands and do for those who depend on us. But ultimately, we have to know that it's God who we rely on, and those who rely on us, so to say, are ultimately relying on God. And that is a very reassuring and great feeling. When we put our hands up and we say, Hashem, it's all in your hands, well then we're not limiting ourselves to what we think and what we're capable of doing. Rather, we are now tapping into the greater source of the ultimate, and that's God. So again, Shabbat is something which is the greatest gift. It does take time to appreciate this gift. It's kind of like a good wine. I personally don't like drinking alcohol or wine, even wine. I just don't like the taste. But I'm told it's an acquired taste. Maybe one day I'll acquire it. But Shabbat is similar. Shabbat at first could taste bitter, could taste strong. What does it mean I have to walk to the synagogue? I can't drive to the synagogue. What does that mean I can't go to work, I can't make more money, I can't go shopping, I can't go to the movies, I can't do this, I can't do that? What does that mean? It's bitter, it's sour, it's not what you would incline yourself to do. However, it is much better than enjoying and acquiring taste for wine. It's acquiring taste for life, for a happy and a productive and a successful life. We guaranteed one who doesn't work or doesn't have to do on Shabbat, it doesn't mean that they'll see less parnasa. They will not see less livelihood. What can you do?
Well, we just understood that parnasa is not important. It's the appreciation.
What's the appreciation? Well, so very good. On that point, if a person's working 7 days a week, do they appreciate what they have? No, it means they want more and they want more and they want more and they want more. So may HaKadosh Baruch Hu bless us all to be happy with what we have, to enjoy the Shabbat, enjoy it with our families. It's the most important time of the week. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen ve'amen. V'chayam Raksha Omer, HaKadosh Baruch Hu Zakot Yisrael, לפיכך ירבה להם תורה מצוות, שנאמר, אדוני חפץ למען